Have you ever found yourself folding laundry at 10 p.m. and wondering if you were present enough for that day, while also feeling guilty for wanting just 10 more minutes alone? You are not a bad mom, you are just a human, and this video is going to free you from the pressure to be everything to everyone all of the time. Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a certified Christian life coach and business mentor. This is a Thought Vault podcast. I'm also a Christian wife, mom of 3, and business owner who works from home. As a coach for purpose-driven women who want to honor God and themselves in every season, mom guilt is something that comes up repeatedly and something I, of course, walk through too. And today we're talking about it. So you know that feeling. When you work, you feel bad for not playing. When you're playing, you feel bad for not cleaning. When you rest, you feel like you don't deserve it. It's a cycle that so many of us get stuck in because that's a normal part of life. Studies show that over 78% of moms experience guilt weekly and over 40% feel it on a daily basis. But guilt doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means that you're carrying too many unrealistic expectations. And I want to show you that it doesn't have to be that way anymore. Let me take you back a few years ago. I had just launched my podcast. I was a mom of 3 now. I was trying to build my business and my youngest was still taking 2 naps a day, and my to-do list was never not screaming at me. You know what I'm saying? So one day, after finally getting 30 minutes alone to write and start working on my podcast, my son woke up early from his nap, and I found myself angry at him, at myself, and then guilty for feeling anything other than blissful joy. I felt like I was failing at everything and too ambitious to be a mom, too mom to actually build my own dream. And in that tension, I had met so many other women, smart, loving, faithful moms who whispered the same thing. I just want to be everything, but I feel like I'm failing at all of it. And that's when I realized that mom guilt is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's just a sign that you care so deeply, but you're measuring yourself by impossible standards. So even in scripture, we see mothers carry burdens with strength. Hannah wept and prayed year after year for a child. And when she finally had Samuel, she gave him back to the Lord, trusting that God's plans were greater than her own. And Mary, the mother of Jesus, felt the weight of motherhood unlike anyone else. And Luke 2:19 tells us that she treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. She knew the calling on her son's life and that it meant sacrifice, surrender, and likely some feelings of inadequacy, but she walked it out in trust. And let's not forget Jochebed. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that was the mother of Moses. She let go of her son by placing him in a basket down in the Nile River, trusting that God would protect his purpose and his life. And that act of surrender shows us that obedience in motherhood sometimes looks like letting go of control. And that is something that so many of us struggle with. A lot of our expectations are because we are wanting to control all outcomes. And we should know by now, ladies, that we cannot do that. That is not part of our purview. We are not the creator, Christ is. So we cannot possibly control every outcome. So how do we conquer mom guilt? I want to share 3 powerful strategies that helped me and other coachees that I have coached in the past and have seen in my own life work wonders. Number 1, anchor your worth in God, not performance. Galatians 1:10 says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? You are not more holy because your house is clean. You are not more valuable because your schedule is full. You are loved because you are first Christ, because you are his." Start each day in the word, not your phone. Set the tone for your heart and your mindset for that day to be rooted in truth and not only in the tasks that you have to do. Reflect on Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Stillness isn't weakness, it's worship. So when we anchor our worth in his identity, we silence the lies that we are not enough. The second thing to do is choose values over validation. So every time you say yes to something out of guilt, you say no to what matters more. Keep that in mind. What kind of mom do you want to be? Do you value presence and joy and faith and creativity? Let those be your compass. Not what Karen says on Facebook or Susan is showing on her perfect day on Instagram. Create a yes list, and these are like your top 3 things that you will always make space for, and everything else is optional. This is about setting healthy boundaries and knowing when to turn on and turn off certain things in your life, when to focus your attention on this part of this arena of your day, and when to give attention to this. Think about Jesus in Mark 1:35. He withdrew early in the morning to pray. Before the demands of ministry came, he said yes to communion with God. And that came before his yes to the people. So keep that in mind. What is God's work for you today? It might be that you have to take care of your sick kid instead of getting on that meeting. It might be that you have to run to the bank or run to a doctor's appointment instead of tackling that Mount Everest laundry pile. It's all about being open-handed with your daily life, because your daily life is an act of worship to God. So keeping that in mind can help give you the right perspective, the right mindset, and the right reaction to things that are going on in your day that you, again, cannot control. The third thing is to make room for you without apologizing. So Jesus withdrew often to be alone with God. He needed rest and solitude. So I'm here to tell you, if Jesus needed that, you do too. So rest isn't about being lazy. It's leadership. It's taking ownership of your life. It's faith in action. So block 20 minutes of your day for soul care, a walk, a prayer, a creative outlet that you love doing, calling that friend and connecting in community, because God built us for that. You don't need permission to refill what's being poured out. We all know the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. And if there's one thing I know is I could not walk my walk without God. So not allowing any margin in my day for having time to do the things that He created in me uniquely to be passionate about, to love doing, to refueling is a disservice and an act of disobedience to the Lord. We must build those healthy boundaries. Research from the University of Michigan shows that regular time alone for reflection or creativity helps decrease cortisol levels and increase emotional regulation. So that is the key for calmness, for present parenting, and for being emotionally mature. I don't know about you, but I can be quick to react, and a lot of my guilt comes from not being patient enough with my kids. So having good emotional regulation is key to letting go of mom guilt and being able to be present. So having the ability to make room for yourself is part of that emotional regulation. And a lot of times when I find myself low on patience, frustrated, or aggravated, it's because I'm completely overstimulated. And so that is on us to take control of and do better about. When you start practicing these three things, everything is going to start to shift. You're going to stop seeing interruptions as failures and start seeing it as an opportunity. You're going to trade exhaustion for intention, and you realize that you can be both a nurturing mom and a woman with a vision and a goal and set out to accomplish both. And neither roles are here to cancel each other out. Think about that Proverbs 31 woman. She's praised not because she does everything, but because she does the right thing in the right time. She rises early, provides for her family, works with her hands, and laughs without fear of the future because she is trusting God. That laughter comes from a woman who's secure in her calling, not drowning in guilt. And the Proverbs 31 woman didn't do everything at once. She had seasons of doing different parts of the things that she was called to steward. So if God has you in the midst of little children who need your constant attention, by sheer numbers and time, of course, you are going to spend the majority of your time nurturing those babies, and it's okay to put some things aside. The season will change when your kids don't need you as much, when you're not the only lifeline to keeping them alive, and you will have more time for other things. So our seasons ebb and flow in life no matter what you're doing, and it's important for us to recognize that, be present and aware enough to steward well what God does have in front of us for the season that we're in. That's what being a good Proverbs 31 woman is all about. You are not a bad mom because you want time to breathe. You're not selfish because you have dreams. You are not alone if you're feeling like it's too much. We have all been there, and we will all be there again sometime, I'm sure. God didn't call you to motherhood to lose yourself. He called you to motherhood to know Him more fully. And I can say that is one of my greatest accomplishments in my motherhood journey has been drawing closer to God and growing my relationship with Him. It is only by His grace, His love, His care, His nurturing, and His wisdom that I've been able to mother these past 10 years. And it's because of Him that I've been able to accomplish what I have in the time frame that He has allowed it for it to be. And letting go of my own expectations, setting those healthy boundaries, and being intentional has been the absolute catalyst to seeing the life that I'm living now and experiencing the seeds that I sowed then, harvesting what is come of that now. And we always need to be thinking about what will our self tomorrow feel like if we spend time doing what He's put in front of us today. I'd love to hear from you. What is one area of your mom guilt that shows up most common in your life? Comment that below. I want to speak life and truth into you and encourage you. And I want us to build the community together, which leads me to inviting you to the Bold Life community. It is a free Christian mompreneur community group, and we are running this race of mothering well, loving our life, stewarding what God has put in front of us, and chasing down those dreams that we have. Because all of us were created for a purpose. And if you feel called to be doing something, I know that God has a plan for that in your life. So get into community with us. You can find the link to that community below in the description, or if you're listening to this on your podcast, in the show notes below. So make sure that you check that out, and make sure to hit subscribe and follow this podcast so we can stay connected, because I look forward to getting to know you more and building this community even greater. Stick around and watch this next video. I know it will be an encouragement to you today, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.